Yes.
By the time you get going, so
It'll look like it's ours.
we're-
Look, I brought it with me.
righto, we're actually rolling. So at 6:30 we'll start. Thank you. Righto, so we'll open the meeting at 6:30. Thank you very much. Thanks, Shona, for getting that up and running. Two apologies, leave of absence. There are no apologies or leave of absence or absence. Sorry, I thought you were going to tell me something. Three, confirmation of council minutes. Okay. Thank you. Recommendation, the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held Wednesday, 19th of March 2025 be taken as read and confirmed. Mover, Luke, seconder, Trevor, does anyone want to note anything, speak to it? All those in favour? Against? Carried, thank you. So we will move to page 14. Lord that Neville? Just keep your teeth in, son. Righto, Mayor's opening remarks. So I guess that is to formally welcome Jason to the post. Thank you for coming, and I'm sure we'll make you regret it, but that's okay. I'm reliably informed by Jason, for those that are looking on YouTube, this will not be our normal agenda. I thought that's just unbelievably thin.
It's pretty good.
I did also want to take a brief moment to talk about text or conflict. We've got some issues with Cruise Road, which I'll bring up later, but more around how we communicate with each other, the discourse that we have, text messages and the like. I think it's important from our side that we make sure whenever we're communicating, even if it's not something we want to do, even if it's a bit emotional or there's some angst, that we keep our cool. If we can't keep our cool, walk away from it, don't do it, because there's plenty of people out there who want to pile on. Yeah, it's not nice to receive those kind of messages. So just be aware from our side that we play with a straight bat. I guess I'm just asking you to do that. And I also wanted to mention we've had a couple of really good community events of recent time for wetlands bans and food bans at Pinaroo. And I guess it wasn't officially enlivened, but the mini enliven at the last weekend for the painting of the silos with all events there, including Friday night. It just goes to show there's a great community spirit around. Obviously, there are things happening at Geranium, but these are the two that I was at. It just goes to show, people are up and about. And I think it's important for us, particularly in this budget time when things are all harsh and numbers and all that sort of stuff, to realise people are really keen to live here and enjoy here, and we play a part in that as well. So that's it for me. Just wanted to put those things in. Declarations, conflict of interest. Does anyone have any they want to register? Nope. Petitions, there are none. Deputations, there are none. Presentations, there are none. So we move into 9.1, page 15. The mayoral report or update. Again, I think Cruise Road will take up later. There's probably, I'll just highlight in there, drought. Obviously, the state government post this did another release on drought funding. Unfortunately, a lot of it was actually previous funding that's been repackaged into something that's new when it's not. But there is some additional stuff in there. So I think the important part to come from these meetings I've been in and from here is, if they need, people have to apply. It's not going to happen without people going to it.
A lot of it is attached to you have to spend a certain amount.
It is. Yeah, it is. And again, I'm probably on that theme of how good community things are. I went to the Murray Lands Riverland Netball and Football Association opening at the RSL in Murray Bridge, and that was really well received. Everyone was really up and about, and basically thought that the Suns netball was going to be a big challenger for the premiership this year again. Not so much hope held out for the football at that release, but you never know what comes. And I reckon that's probably all that matters in there. Apart from citizenship, did a citizenship ceremony at Pinaroo. Jason was there, and really good conversations with the people there, and just really good. They're very good things. If you ever see one and you've got the time, do come along. The people are really enthusiastic. So we'll leave that one at that. So I need to move that and bring it in. So I'll move the report of a seconder. David, anyone want to comment? All those in favour? Against? Carried, thank you. Elected members reports, 9.2. Anyone have one? Chris?
Yeah, I got back onto the landscape to say about the water use report. But basically said to me, it takes too much work, so we're not going to do it. And I think as a group, we should all be really concerned that the water table is on a decline, and any change that happens is from rainfall, not from their so-called infeed from the Grampians. And I think we probably should write a very serious letter to them expressing our concern. If they change from a water use report in 2021, and now it's a fact sheet.
Yeah.
The fact sheet doesn't. They've got all the information. They said to me, "Oh, if you want to find it out, you just look through all the water charts, which is like you can work it out." Well, they can press a button and create the whole thing. And I don't know why they've done it, other than they said to me, "Oh, it takes a lot of time."
So we'll get that from you, give your note, minutes, who's taking the minutes down? Did that just get written down, or do we need Trevor to make it is up there? So, no, but that's a report. I'm just wondering, we'll need to move a motion to get a letter from council. But it's been written down there that what you've done. Oh yeah, there it is there. Sorry, I couldn't see down the bottom. Yeah, model decline. So I think with something that serious, just bear in mind, it's probably worth you dropping, whether it's even writing it down on paper and handing it over as a report from your meeting. And I think we can do a motion without notice down later in here to ask the chamber to do a letter through the CEO.
Yeah.
Because water is critical to our,
Yeah.
it's everything.
And it seems like I've got onto the big rig, even put me onto somebody else, but none of them ring you back.
Yeah.
You got to chase it.
Yeah, but I
And I
think
gather he's just resigned.
so Andrew Medal, the CEO, is leaving. Yeah. I think that's serious, and we can ask that question on behalf of the chamber through the council, and that gives it a bit of weight. Cool.
And other than that, I attended the Penrith Dirt Bike Club. They had a low key event.
Yep.
Half their concern is they do lots of work there for everybody away that comes and contributes something. I don't know which way you want to look at your club, some numbers, but technically doing it for local people, but I guess if we want events to happen, we've got to subsidise the away.
Yeah. Certainly know with all my racing, I never got to go anywhere that was for free.
Yeah.
I had to pay every time I went there.
Nothing to report.
I probably could just say that the old shop at Geranium did open this morning and went very well. And this afternoon went to 3 o'clock. I left before it finished, but would have been 70 odd people that sort of flowed through for the day, and there was at least 3 lots of people that come off the road. So yeah,
that's positive, isn't it? People who weren't going to be there.
Yeah.
Yep.
The sign out the road.
Yeah, signs out the road. Yes.
It's only
Well, there were signs on private property. It's a dit road, we don't care.
Yeah.
Just a question, Campbell. There was a hack. So at the board meeting, the Local Health Network board meeting, I believe the other regional hacks when presented. Did you get anything back from them?
No, I haven't got anything.
Okay.
I wasn't able to go that day.
No, I'm just wondering whether you could ask them for a bit of a brief on what was there, just to see if there's anything that would help you or affect us or whatever.
Yeah.
Cool. No worries. So in that case, we need a mover for what we've got down there for Trevor. So Trevor can move his. A seconder. Luke, questions? All those in favour? Yes, carried. Thank you. 10 reports from committees. Nil. 11.1 quarterly performance report. CEO.
Thank you. Yes, I haven't been to your report.
No, thank you.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be here. I'm going to take this as read because that's about all I can do. So if you've got any questions, we've got all the staff in the room that'll be able to answer them. If you've got any questions on what's going on, but it's a little bit of what we've spoken about already today. Nothing brings out to me.
So I'll take the first hit at it. it needs to be bigger, because I mean, you've got to
Yeah.
bloody,
Yeah,
the scale of that printing on a page is like, you need to be mighty man to read that.
Pretty blurry.
I had a magnifying glass and my glasses trying to read through it. She's a bit secondhand. Has anyone else got any questions? Otherwise, well, actually, we'll get it moved first. So River, Luke, second, Neville. Has anyone got any questions they want to pose?
So it's all
Put your
blurry.
glasses on, you
Can't
squint
see.
like a bloody. Yeah, no, it's the same one here.
It's all
Yeah,
blurry on
it
you.
doesn't blow up either.
we'll work on that.
Yeah.
Same.
Keep it back.
Righto.
Can't see it with them or without.
All those in favour? Against? Carried, thank you.
I would say it's great that we're doing it. But I think it's,
No, it's gone now, it's finished.
sorry.
11.2, resolution status report. Anyone else want to do this other than Jason?
Ben?
CEO, you want to do this report? Yeah, that's right. Well, actually, we do normally like the recommendations read out. We let him off with that one because that's fine.
Recommendation is that council resolves to receive and note the contents of this report and determine that the resolutions identified in attachment 1 as completed have been accomplished and no further status reports will be provided on those resolutions.
Have a mover. Neville. Neville moved it, Luke seconded it. Anyone want to speak to it? I will, yeah, that's right.
I was looking at the Geranium School property rates.
Go back around that one.
Is that-
Yep.
Yep. And it says it's still in progress, waiting for a notification, is it?
Yeah, they're putting them in.
Well, you can do the rates notice, it's only good, but tell you $1.10.
That was general one, right on.
You're not,
No, you can't sell it.
you're not a school anymore, so
You can't sell it, they can't sell it, it's only $1.10. It has to go back to the government, it's not worth anything.
Right, it's not a discussion. He's at his,
Yeah, I've got one question.
well, hang on, so did you get that one? So it's about the rates?
Yes,
Piece
and
on there.
it is all, explained there in the status of what's going on. I think it's just holding on to it.
It doesn't matter.
To monitor it.
Anyway, they don't want you to mow the oval anyway.
They don't?
That's under control,
Okay,
they'll do that themselves. And just the street sweep can just go in and around dog shop, and again, good.
Well, that needs to come in through a request, probably more.
Yeah, I've done that, I've done
Yeah.
it through Mark, but or even through,
A works request.
a works request, I think we're onto that, so you can get a street sweeper in. When they do it.
Okay, so back to the resolution status report. Yes.
My question was, when are we going to commence the building asset review? Page 36.
That's what we're doing now.
it's all you.
So that,
Right, yeah.
No. yeah, that's, yeah. Yes, the condition report is different to the asset review. They're two separate things.
But one would lead into the other. I think they complement each other.
I would have done this one first, but we can't, I think we kind of jumped the gun a bit.
Right,
Yeah, I'd be keen to get that done pretty quick.
yeah, fair enough. All right.
And when is Q4 2025? Is that next quarter coming up?
Next
or is
quarter.
that the end of the year?
Q4 is the last quarter of this year.
Of this financial.
Fourth quarter.
Well, not financial year. If it's,
Yeah.
if it's 25, Q4 25 is Q4 of this year. If it's financial year, then it's next March, April.
Yeah.
Sorry, April, May, June, but normally you wouldn't say that as Q4. Normally it's in calendar years. Correct?
That was a resolution.
More detailed financial report, retirement village over its lifetime is provided to council by Q4 2025. So I would read that as by the last quarter of this year.
Yeah, that's right.
Like November.
Yeah, the last, so by the end of this calendar year.
Yeah.
Yeah, got double thumbs up.
Chuck that on my list, Shane.
Both of you, exactly one of you.
That's it for you, Yep. Okay. Campbell? I'm good. Chris? I've got a couple. One is just really to re-highlight, I guess, the road usage survey. Yes, it is in progress. Yes, it's got background information, but it's kind of, what is that going to be? What's the context? Because that's going to be quite important leading into this next 6 months. Is it going to be a survey now as opposed to the spreadsheet? Exactly what's going to happen. The second one was just, I guess, more so to take the opportunity to let people know that I've already spoken to Jason about wanting to not elevate, but reignite the lease on the Lameroo Caravan Park piece, to say this, we're not looking to sell it, we're just looking to get who wants to do something with it, and that really only needs to be an EOI. It doesn't have to be huge. So that can progress fairly quickly. But I don't disagree with the status of them. Cool. We'll bring a report about that, won't we, Shiloh, about the Crown land?
The Crown land's all, we're supposed to update.
Yeah. We ran out of time. We'll bring a report to council next time. Yeah, but I don't think the Crown land affects it. Yeah, it's on. Yeah. We're already leasing it. We've already got someone else doing the work. Yeah. Well, yeah. We need to horse-drawn quarter a few people, I think. Righto. In that case, all those in favour? Against? Good. Righto, we're on the back page already. Questions on notice? There are none that I'm aware of. No, not on notice. Steady on, Trevor. Hold back.
It's all right, you'll be before.
Yeah.
Motions on notice. We don't have any of those. Right. Questions without notice. We'll start with Chris. Campbell. Trevor.
Yeah, when they painted the Historic Society, apparently they didn't paint a couple of bits of fence because it wasn't in the quote.
What?
It was.
Sorry, you missed it. It got missed, so we're dealing with that.
Okay.
And that email had gone direct through already, and that was, I could obviously CC'd into that. Yeah. That's it. Oh, geez, I was expecting more than that. Righto. Neville. No.
I don't usually ask.
No,
No.
I'm all.
No, they're all good. Righto. We don't have to do anything with that, do we? That was just a quick answer. Yeah, okay. So the next is motions without notice. I'll do mine, so.
Yeah. So, some recent issues happened, some alarms at the hospital, sort of raised this on top of SAS issues. So, I would like to move a motion that Ron and Jason reach out to the LGA at their upcoming meeting in a month's time and collaborate with other mayors, CEOs throughout number 5 regions to see if their issues are very much similar to what we have with SAS and CFS in our area here.
Around volunteerism.
Around volunteerism, the lack of volunteerism, closure of stations, the lack of hierarchy listening to volunteers going up. Right, that's the motion I'd like to put forward.
You put that in words.
What was the event?
So if you don't mind, we've probably made that, so what we want is the chamber to endorse through the CEO and myself going to all councils in South Australia, 68, sort of saying these are the issues we've got. If you've got similar issues, would you attend a Teams meeting with a view to trying to form a group of people who want to meet with the relative ministers at the upcoming, while we're in town for the OGM next month, May 22nd, I think it is. So taking advantage of that trip, if we can manage to get a meeting with ministers, so we step straight to the ministers. It's kind of what we're looking for. That was a lot of talking for. Mayor and CEO to reach out to Council SA around issues with CFS and SAS volunteerism, volunteer-related issues.
You wanted the council to endorse the mayor and CEO?
Well, by coming through the chamber, it does. Yeah. CFS and SAS, SAAS, yeah, volunteers, with a view to a Teams and then physical meetings with ministers, if possible. That sum up for you?
Yeah.
Just for the members to know, that will supersede an existing motion that's sitting in there for me to write a letter to SAS, which I was waiting a bit of time on, so that will go next meeting. I'll withdraw that. This will be the only one. So if you're happy with that, a seconder for that? Luke, does anyone want to speak to it? All those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. Is that you done, Chris?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got two. One that we compiled a letter to the Landscape SA board about.
Just let her get behind you. Just one, actually, just let her add in that. Sorry, her, Shona. Let Shona catch up with us. We say it really quick, but she's got a lot of boxes to click through. Have to get to like the doctors now where you just talk and the computer's going. Yeah, that's it. Righto.
That we compiled a letter, asking, presenting our concern on the lack of an annual water use report. And basically why it's not done.
What about requesting them to present to us in,
Yeah, that would be better.
present to the chamber on the sustainable water use of our aquifer? Well, to physically present, I reckon they need to come and talk to us.
Yeah, I see.
Come and talk to us.
They got the money.
Yeah, they could come and talk to you any time they said, didn't they?
Which is that way you get to ask questions. There's a letter, you can't ask questions with a letter.
Yeah, that's right.
So, yes, I reckon just request, maybe it's council request Landscape SA. Is it Landscape SA and or DWU?
No, it's Landscape SA.
Yeah.
Let's go and say.
Yeah.
One lot has a report, I'm not sure the other lot compiles and what else.
Yeah. So I think it's just the council requests Landscape SA to come and present.
So get rid of the rest.
Yeah, I reckon. We just want them to come and talk to us about the sustainable use of the aquifer.
No, I think this will be better. This will just be better. So I can get someone.
Explain to us
What would you say on on the lower end?
And why they've stopped compiling the annual water use reports.
And what is the actual degradation of it?
Because, you know, 2021 was on decline. And 4 years since then, so it's still going.
And yeah, so I think you want them to report to you what is the decline and what's going to happen about it. And, yeah, water usage reports and the decline in is it the aquifer level?
Yeah.
Water level? Does that read the way you like it, Trevor?
Yeah.
Okay, so Trevor's moving it. Do I have a seconder? Luke, someone we can speak to it? All those in favour? Against? Carried, thank you. Give her a few moments. Shona, sorry, I've got to stop saying her. Yes, you got another one?
Second motion of that notice is that in the Lameroo and Pinaroo towns, and probably Geranium, we have all these faded and redundant signs, and I think it's time for them to be removed by next meeting, or that's what I'll hope.
That's already been raised.
Yeah, it's been raised for 2 years.
Yes. Well, even just recently it was raised as a good use of the, I don't know, 15 grand or whatever it was in signage to actually use it to go and either remediate worn signs or get rid of the ones that aren't necessary. I can't remember whether that was Calvin or.
There's quite
There's always been signs like that, but they put the orange and they say brush up sign that's all faded, still sitting in front of the brand new sign, and then all the other signs like place.
Speaking of signs then, what is the ruling of those blue ones, you know? That say that there's church or something or an op shop.
Yeah, I've made the request of my business, is if you buy the sign that's in keeping with the sign standards,
You can do it.
council will then put it up for you.
Put a sign up there.
All right.
It's like $100 a time.
So, the council remove all the faded and redundant signage around,
Okay.
is that staying, who said that?
Workers will go to the district.
Trevor.
And we do have,
Because there was an amount of money that was in the budget that was left over for signage in this current financial year. Yeah,
Madam Chair, are you suggesting township signs when Main Street signs were upgraded? Or are you suggesting signage in general?
I think Trevor's,
Well, I wouldn't
Township.
blame the district because you've got further stuff to do that, I would just go with town ones first. As in, new signs there and old shit ones.
and an example was given back when that was raised, which was even on the end of this building is Tidy Towns 1990, something that's 3/4 faded. It's not really representative of Tidy Towns.
No, when Campbell was here.
Yeah, okay. And that was to use, I think there was a 15K or something allocation for an extension of that signage program, so that's not gonna buy anything. Use that to actually tidy up the signs. So that's
Change from district to towns.
towns, yeah. And don't, I think just townships, around the townships, because yeah, there are,
It's for you.
5 townships.
you need to make one.
Do you need it as a motion or are you happy to take that as a,
So you want to throw.
yeah, so it's not, do you want to still do it or leave it as?
Well, I just want to make sure it happens, so I'll leave it as a motion.
Well, leave it on there, it can sit on the report until it's finished, yep, yep.
Yeah.
Just get ready for when he comes and says, right, that's 148,000. Seconder, please. Campbell, all those in favour?
Yeah.
Against, carried, Keith, Trevor? No, I was just saying if you got any more.
No, that's it.
No, that's it, right. Neville?
I don't think so.
Well, we've got Dastardly Dan in here. So I've got one.
Oh,
Sorry, Shana. And yeah, it had to be without notice because I didn't have enough time to get it in once things evolved. So the motion would be that, what are we supposed to say? What does it start with? The council resolve? No, what is it? There's a starting to what it's council resolves or something?
Council.
Yeah, council resolves to. Council resolves to authorise the administrator. Yeah, authorise the works. Is it? Who are we authorising? Yeah. Well, authorises, I was going to say the administration, because we're the chamber authorising the administration to remove any lock or chain that appears on the Cruise Road gate with the view of public safety. That's one. It's a reason for separating.
Yeah.
So and I'll speak to my rationale in a sec. So that's that one. And that would be number one of two in that same thing. So one and then. And that's, yeah, probably would be council resolves and it'd be 2 parts, but that's all right, so it's doing it again. Yep, that council recommence bin collection services on Cruise Road. So I'll give my rationale. Does it need to get moved first or I'll give my rationale first? Give me rationale. Okay, so the rationale is simply that there are some ongoing issues with a lock and chain appearing on the gate of Cruise Road, and there's a person living behind that gate. It doesn't have access to a motor vehicle. When that lock appears, they are literally locked in other than walking on the verges in amongst trees trying to get out of their property. Whilst there's an unrestricted right-of-way access over 3 lots within there, and those 3 lots are the roads, one of which is Cruise Road, and it clearly says unrestricted right-of-way access. There was a commitment to keep the lock and the chain off, but then it reappeared, then it went off and it's reappeared. That doesn't seem right for the constituent, and they're certainly, whilst it's a civil matter for them to argue that, from a public safety point of view, which I think we bear some responsibility, I don't think a person should be locked behind a gate and a chain they have no way of unlocking. If they're unwell or an ambulance is called, ambulance can't get in there, can't get a stretcher in there, can't do anything. Fire truck will be fine, they can just cut it or drive through it. An ambulance can't. That's my motive behind it. We have sought resolution independently, thought we had some, and I've noticed that the property's up for sale. But at the moment, the lock and chain has gone back on. I'm not sure if it's still on, but the letter to the council that I received a copy of last week. So I'm assuming it's still on there. At some point in the past, we stopped collecting the bin down there, and it's up to the constituent to wheel their bin out to whatever the road is on the edge of Cruise Road. But again, one problematic if the gate's locked out, when you bill out past all the stuff, but she's paying the same bin fee as everybody else. Why does you have to wheel a bin in? I don't really understand that. So at some point we elected to stop, and there's a lot of history. I'm not trying to aggravate the situation. I'm not trying to infuriate the owner, but I think the constituent's got a right to
law
services. So the negative on that is that it puts a target on us as council, and the owner could take civil proceedings against us if he wishes to. And my belief in that is, well, council can then argue why we did it, because everything I've seen means that you shouldn't be locked into your own property. So that's my motion. I'll move that. It's up to whether there's a second or not. There's a second to Luke. Does anyone wish to speak to that? Should I hand over when it's my motion? No. It's all right, cool.
So it's a public access.
So just to clarify, it's private property, but it has we've got the certificate of title out of Salus, which is the planning thing, and it has unrestricted right-of-way access. So in the past, council used to go down there and collect bins. They used to turn around down the end. Mail used to get delivered. Services used to go down there, and now no one's going down there. Not just because the gate's locked, but because of all the problems over the years. But it is still private property. Just to fill you in, there was, I think I did last meeting, we had a public meeting, and at that meeting, both with the public, we iterated to them, with the owner, we had a meeting with myself and Mark, we iterated to them, they have every right to put a fence and a gate across their property. They just don't have a right to lock it and lock the people in without giving the people behind it a key. You can't lock them in. And that's the bit that's up for contention. So if you remove the chain and the lock, we don't, happy days. But it keeps reappearing. And that has been raised with the police as well. But they're in the same situation. It's a civil matter and needs to be pursued civilly, but that can take years and cost a heap of money that constituents don't necessarily have.
What's he trying to do?
I don't know, just bear in mind we are being YouTubed, so I don't know. There's a lot of historical angst from what we can tell from all the paperwork goes back a long way. Like we're talking decades and decades, like 25, 30 years, the paperwork goes back. So it's got a lot of history, but it's very problematic to try and deal with now. It gets quite aggravated quite quickly.
Okay.
I agree that no lock shouldn't be there and they should have full access and stuff, but us authorising staff to go on private property and damage things could open us up to some pretty serious legal things. The way that this probably should proceed is the private landowners who have contention need to go to SACA, which isn't that expensive. Things like $150, and it does take a couple of months for someone to go through, and then they need to get that done there. I think that's the proper way to have this happen. Because, yeah, I know it says unrestricted way of access and stuff, and I 100% agree that lock shouldn't be there. And maybe if a landowner did it themselves, that'd be something for them, but for us to go on private land, it could be a bit tricky legally. They're telling our staff to go and do private damage.
There's a landowner stuck behind there, isn't there?
I don't know where the landowner lives.
No, but the other land.
Oh, there is, yeah, absolutely.
So there is a
that
landowner
lives
stuck behind there, so she could give us permission to cut the lock.
Well, that's not her property. She has right-of-way access, but it's not her property. That's what I said. To be clear, it is putting a target on council's back. As it sits at the moment, the only remedy, and I believe that the legal opinion that council has got when Mark was here, was that we don't have any legal right to go and cut the lock off. We don't have any legal right to force him to cut it off, but equally, he doesn't have any legal right to barricade her in. So it's a matter of deciding who wants to have the argument. I'm moving it from a public safety point of view and saying, well, I think we have an obligation under public safety to not have someone locked in behind. But equally, you know, someone can argue that. Yeah, while it's public, I don't want to say any more than that.
Yeah, if someone put in a complaint that council instructed the staff to do something which could potentially be criminal, then the ombudsman will look at that.
Right, so Jason will go to jail, will he?
So I agree that someone should cut that lock, or that lock shouldn't be there, but I think this is pretty sticky legally and we probably need legal advice or something. And I agree that the garbage man should go up there and do that. I think that's a good idea because he used to do that, but I just think the legality of this is pretty sticky.
Well, that could be step one, is to get a definitive what we can and can't do, present a report.
And we could support the landowners there who have contention to go to SACAT and put in their case. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for it to be that way. Reason being, not discounting what you've said, but I mean, if that's you, your mother, your grandmother, your person who's locked behind there, and we're going for reports and stuff, we're talking about a month at least. She's already been barricaded in there numerous times. I'm not trying to get in behind the issues of why that's the case, but I accept what Campbell's saying. There is absolutely a risk. I'm not sure about the ombudsman part. I think we've got a duty, in my view, we've got a duty under public safety to provide a safe environment for the ratepayers. We're collecting the rates. So that's the way I read it. But there is absolutely an alternative view to that.
I think that we should do these things, but I think it's just too sticky legally and we should support them in other ways.
So the rubbish truck could technically only come up to where that gate is, so.
Correct. At the moment, yeah. Which is what they do. She has to
She
get the
can't
bin
even
out.
bring a bin out of it.
If the gate
I
blocked.
agree, that's a horrible situation.
Even a landowner that bought land on Emily South Road, they bought the land, but they still have to have a gate where you can go back and forth through it. And then even if they don't, they still have to put a gate there, so I
Maybe.
don't know why that's.
Can we go into confidence now or not? Can I, I'd like to seek leave of the chamber to go into confidence. This is our last item of business. So to cease screening, so can I have a show of hands as to whether they support that?
Just need to move.
Oh, sorry, move in a second. So the grounds are that I want to say names of people and places that shouldn't be in the public domain. So personal effect on other people. In that case, I move that motion. Sharon, I move it? Yeah.
Sorry.
So I move it. Seconded, Luke. All those in favour? Against, carried. Thank you. We'll wait until the streaming goes off.